Hey, what's going on, holidayers? Larry from Snake River Fly, playing with some new hooks. It's cold outside, it gets dark early. So we're just doing a version of a really awesome bug out there. I think Gorillos first called it the Hippie Stomper. And then Craven's got the Fat Angie, which is a really killer bug too. So this is just our version, using one material for the body and the hackle. Tying on a cool hook though, the Tagata from Moonlit, the ML251. Really cool, little bit bigger gap, super, I guess, standard wire, but little tip up on this little head, which is really cool, man. These guys float really, really well, especially with some of our Pro Lam, our basic foam. So let's get to it. First thing we did is we're gonna take some moosh. We've got a pretty decent chunk here we're working with. This one's on the site. It's a little smaller, the version we sell on the site, but really nice moose hide. And we put it into our Turbo Packer 3000. You can find these, I think, from Rock Bottom, maybe. Not Old Falls, but there's a humongous deer hair stacker. So I just stack enough to do a bazillion of these. We got some moose mane and a big old stacker, and I made enough to, tie half a dozen of these. But moose is traditional on the back of a humpy or a goofus bug. Really good tailing material. A lot of green drakes. Lawson did a lot with moose hide on his paradrakes and that stuff. But when you have good moose, you know what it's worth. It's really nice and stiff, can make great bodies, yada yada. But we're gonna do a standard tail on this. This is enough to make a bunch of them, so I'll just pull a little bit out there. Moose is really straight, not as hollow as deer hair, elk hair, so it doesn't flare as much. That's why it makes a really good tailing material, like so. And we're just going to exaggerate a little bit the tail length on this bug. If we were doing a mayfly, we'd maybe shorten it up a touch, but this is mostly an attractor pattern. Like I said, really killer pattern that's out there. This is just our version of it. So we've tied our moose in. Super nice long stuff. I mean, you can use this on, all your mayflies, definitely anything you want to tie, wolf style, and a chunk that big that we sell for, I don't know, what, $7.99 is going to be enough for you and your kids and the rest of your life. But anyway, really cool material, fun to use. So now we're going to take a piece of our foam we've already prepped. Our Pro Lam is a two-tone foam, already glued together, package, so you don't have to. We've got it in a zillion colors anyway. This one I just kind of cut, maybe not quite a quarter wide at the top, and down to an eighth or so at the bottom. This is a size 10. Love these in 8s, especially around here. We have a lot of golden stones and stuff and hoppers. But the 12's pretty lethal when we start running it. Kind of think of this as our stimulator with an upright wing. Great patterns in the West, kind of imitate a little bit of everything. I think that Andy and Charlie's versions did awesome justice, to the foam world. And Sanchez, you for sure, definitely. We've all love our foam, but this is a super fun bug to tie. Like I was telling Brandon earlier, he's like, you already tied that many? I'm like, dude, it's just fun to tie. So this is a basic bug, same way that those guys tied the Hippie Stomper and the Fat Angie. Fat Angie rides a little bit farther back, but at this point in time, they do some hackles, some dubbing or dubbing whatnot, I'm not sure. But we're just tying in that material that we use a ton at SRF or Snake River Fly. This is our barbed elasticore. Use this in a lot of flies lately, and it's just killer because, excuse me, I yanked on it too hard. It's stretchy, and it has, maybe a 1/2 to 3/4 inch little teeny strands coming off that, and it covers a hook really fast. It's super durable, and with foam, deadly combo. So I think we've got it going for a special. Hopefully we get it out there on the days of Christmas. But our 6-packs are popular. you can get everything to tie this bug on the site, but we're doing a 6-pack on the barbed elasticore, so you can basically get all the colors. You know, we love this one. There's 2 colors of tan, and the other tan's a little bit warmer, all the way to really dark purple and black. So I've got that tied in the back. What I've done is when I tied in that moose, you know, I kind of stopped back a little bit like you would on a stimulator or anything. There's no reason to crank it all the way to the head. We're going to add some stuff up here that could tend to get a little bulky. So we're just going to leave that shank open back there. So I've gone 2/3, strapped my foam down. I've got my moose mane down there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some touching wraps with the barbed elasticore forward. You know, once you get tying a bunch of these, you know how many wraps you're going to do to make it look groovy, but 6 seems to be the ticket. That's a little dip right there, but I'm okay with that because I got some more stuff to add. Let's make sure we're on the same page here. Cool. Now once we've got that body tied in, you know, it's pretty much doesn't matter, but having a rotary vise that you can flip over and take a look whenever you're wrapping any material, really, but especially this one, it's nice to have a rotary. And you know, we've tied a lot on Renzettis. We definitely do the Norvise here too, but these guys from Moonlit, in our neck of the woods, good friends of ours, Brandon and Brent, their vise, we've done a review on this, but man, I've been tying on it for a while. They got me a cool purple one, which is awesome. But this thing is doing a really good job. Really nice rotary on this guy. You know, a real metal stop on the fixing it if you don't want to fix it. But the angle's adjustable here, and I really like the head on this. There's zero pressure really here right now. Believe it or not, you're just gonna have to smell-o-vision it. But I've got a pretty good range of pulling these hooks in and out. And I've tuned this one up just perfect for this. But once you tune that gap and stick it in, I don't have to wait to feel a crank or a click or anything like that. And I'm not really pinching on it too much right now. You can feel it in the lever. I'm not killing that hook shank. I can tell that I can move it all the way up there, which keeps it out of the way, and I'm not going to bump that. So I think that's pretty cool. The base is definitely plenty heavy and pretty sexy. So anyway, rotary vise really is nice to be able to flip over, take a look at the bottom, make sure I don't have any real big funky gaps. Little thumbnail in there straightens that up. But I'm 2/3 of the way up with that barbed elasticore. I'm going to pull that Pro Lam over like a humpy. And you get the 2 tones out of the Pro Lam. It's laminated 2 mil, so you got 4 mil basically, which works really good. We also make it in the Jumbotron, real thick stuff right here in the TVL, named for Teton Valley Lodge, one of the oldest lodges in the area, outfitter services, but they tie their bugs out of this fat stuff, and so do we. But on this size 10 or 12 hook from Moonlit, we're not going to use that big foam. We're going to use just our standard Pro Lam. So got everything kind of stacked where I want to go. I'm moving everything forward. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just pop forward on the hook shank, and I'm going to tie another pinch in that foam, in that Pro Lam, like so. I'll show you by flipping it over there. I've jumped forward just, you know, 1/16 of an inch, and I'm building a little area right here. It's that 1/16 inch wide, because I'm going to add a couple materials now to finish off the fly. So deer hair, calf tail, that kind of stuff was originally, you know, your big wings for dry flies out in the West. Over the years, polypropylene yarn, Puglisi has some great stuff, MFC, everybody has some good stuff. Ours is still super old school, probably older than most of us, but man, I had a stash of macrame yarn that was pure polypropylene back in the day, and thank goodness I still have it. Thanks, Mom. But our Grizz Frizz in tan, that's going to be our wing. I've just selected some of that, 2 inches long or so. We make it in a ton of colors too. One of our favorites is doing the purple lavender wing with the black and purple Angie Stomper, whatever we're calling it. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a wing right here on that second bump of foam. And I'm just going to tie it in like you would tie a rubber leg, but I'm going to do it on top, like so. So on your side, I'm behind that clump, and on my side, I'm in front. And now I'll just X-wrap that. The Grizz Frizz, being poly, does a really, really good job of setting into that Pro-Lam foam. And you don't have to use too many wraps, and you can get it set, you know, kind of propped up forward, which would be classic wolf style humpy, Goofus bug, Jacqueline style, you know, Western. But this is super fun bug to fish with cutthroat. I'm gonna put some rubber legs on now. Looking at it from the top, got a split wing, a hump, the tail. I'm gonna take a couple of our super popular color. God, I might not be able to say that. Better check inventory first. This is the Smoke Jumper. This is named after a bunch of our BLM fly time buddies. Go Snake River. Hot shots. Look them up. They're legit. When I was guiding in Swan Valley, their work camp, their park camp for fires was right over the fence from my buddy Jason's house on Rainy Creek, which was loaded with big old trout that came off of the river. And we'd feed them real grasshoppers every night.
So
something like this would have chomped
the guy
them.
that pops up in the video here out of the blue. I just watched you take 2 rubber legs and tie them in on the same side and then slide them over. That's a pretty pro move.
Oh yeah, that's old school pro move.
All right,
Did I not tell you that years ago?
I've never
I
seen
am
that.
so
You should
sorry.
probably talk about that, I think.
Wax it on, wax it off. Sorry. Yep. So anyway, I did. I just took those rubber legs. Another way to do that, I think we've done it before in probably the Stonefly Nymph series and whatnot, but a couple of them, you can tie them on top. Just a loose wrap, and that's another positive of tying on foam, is this collar right here where I'm doing a lot of my work, it's soft, and once you get a decent wrap in that and pull it tight, one wrap will keep that thread and hold that material really well. So you're not going to build up a ton of bulk in here, and you can do that kind of stuff. A loose wrap holds everything, even the wings, the way I kind of, you know, plop them up there. Use that foam to your advantage to keep that crease, keep it going. So now I've got those legs in there. From the bottom, we're looking like this. Left this guy hanging down there on purpose. Not good enough to do it backwards, but I'm going to put a wrap wherever it seems to work the best. Like, definitely want one in between these guys. Sometimes I'll put a wrap if my rubber legs are sticking, if they're like running parallel to the body and not flaring. Maybe I'll run a wrap in front of there or behind them. But on this one, I've kind of saved enough space. So I'll do that wrap, just covering up our tracks, and then I'll do another one right in front of the wing and the other half of the laser leg. So from the top, from the bottom, and now I'm just going to hold that tight. I'm going to pull back all this foam, hold on to that little tag in. Oops, I'm wrestling it a little bit, so let me make sure I reset. Nope, went too far. Boom. Okay, and so tied that in. Like I said, there's only 2 loops holding that barbed elastic core in there and all that jazz, and that foam's holding it nice. That's another great reason. Just build your terrestrial bodies out of, you know, this laminated foam. And now I'll just go ahead and finish it off. Pull everything back. Get a couple good wraps on the front of that moonlit. Cool shape on this hook. It leaves you a gap after you strap foam on. A lot of times you'll take a standard gap hook, you know, tie like a chubby chirp. Whoa, that one got loose of me. I'm doing a Semper waxed tan. A couple are good, but I always put some extras on there just because you love the people and the fish, you know. Okay, we'll trim off, flip it over. It's got some garbage hanging off. It's just the way I do it. You can keep it clean as you go. Prop the wing up, but you can see I got full 360 on this vise. Just cut my wings. What I think, trim off my lamy foam in the front, so it's got a little face on it, just a little beetle looking terrestrial job. This thing's awesome around here all summer long, really, but definitely once the terrestrial game kind of gets going, or you got cutthroat in general, which can't stand not to eat something with foam and rubber. This is a good one. Thank you, Gorillos, Andy and Charlie, for bringing it to our attention. Super fun fly to tie. You can do it faster than I did. I just talked too much. So clip that out, and then of course glue the shit out of it, and boom, there you go. The barbed, whoops, hold on, give it a haircut. Just cut that right, okay. Boom, barbed elasticore, Fat Angie Stomper, terrestrial. Get all the stuff on the site, 6 packs, tie a bunch of them this winter, have a ball with them next summer. Thanks a bunch, happy holidays.